Okay, so chapter 6 is on coordinate geometry. Now, coordinate geometry basically means, all right, we will be working with the Cartesian coordinates x and y. Okay, so basically, we will be working with a Cartesian coordinate x and y. And the first thing we learn is the gradient of a straight line. Now, you learn in sec 1 or sec 2, right? Gradient of a straight line. How do you find the gradient of this straight line? What do you learn? Y over x lah. So basically, you learn in y over x. Okay, now, there's a problem with this formula. In science, what is the formula you learn for gradient? The word that you all use was slope, right? So what's the formula for slope that you all learn in science? Rise over run. Okay, now these two formulas are the same thing. Y-axis is your rise, x-axis is your run. Now, you will need this scale here. How tall is this triangle here? This right angle triangle, how tall is this? What is the rise? From 8 to 2. How tall is this? 6. Okay, again, how did I get 6? I look at the y-axis. This is like the y-axis, right? So I look at the y value, which is 8 and 2. So between 8 and 2 is 6 units. So this is called your rise. What about your run? How long is the run? 3 minus 1. All right, or 1 minus 3, doesn't matter. But you know how long is this? Okay, the absolute value here is 2. So we know that the slope is y over x, 6 over 2, or rise over run, 6 over 2, right? So what happens if I write the answer as 6 over 2? There's one big problem. What is the problem? 3 is not the answer, you will get it wrong. This is a positive gradient. This is a negative gradient. Now look at this slope here. What should be the gradient? Yes, it should be a negative 3. So the problem with a formula like this is you need to determine whether is it plus or minus. Okay, but we will solve this problem today. We no longer need to worry. So what we will do is we apply a formula for gradients. The formula is given the coordinates here, x1, y1. And this gradient here is x2, y2. So the formula for gradient, we call it m. All right, that's a short form, m, equals to, start with the y. You see, start with the y, right? So y1 minus y2 divided by, what do you think is at the bottom? Yeah, correct. If you know the top, you know the bottom. X1 minus x2. Okay, the question is, can I write y2 minus y1? So if I write y2 minus y1, what should be at the bottom? It must be x2 minus x1. Now, what does this mean? It means that if I start from the top over this, this minus this, right? I must start at the top again. Okay, I'll show you what I mean. So if I start from y1, I need to use x1. If I start from y2, I need to use x2 first. Again, if I start from y1 first, I need to use x1 first. Y2 first, I need to use x2 first. The gradient equals to what minus what divided by what minus what. Use this 4 number here. Okay, try now. Okay. Yep, so this is correct. Trying use top minus the bottom. Now what should, so the top y minus the bottom y. So she must use the top x minus the bottom x. How to do this type of question? Now AB is parallel to CD. What does it mean? In terms of gradients, AB parallel to CD. AB and CD. Sorry, this is AB and CD. What about their gradients? The same, right? The gradient will be the same. So in mathematics, if something is the same, what notation should I use? So let's find the gradient of AB first. Let's find the gradient of AB, right? So how do I find the gradient of AB? Can you write it down? How do you find the gradient of AB? Okay, come. Okay. Gradient of AB will be AB, y1 minus y2, y1 minus y2, x1 minus x2, x1 minus x2. So that's the gradient of AB. Now the gradient of CD will be y1 minus y2. Okay, so this should not be a 5, right? So what should it be? y1 minus y2. So this should be a, what number here? No. y1 minus y2. We keep making this same mistake, right? y1 minus y2, my finger, what should this value be? K or not 5, x1 minus x2, what should the value be? y1 minus y2, x1 minus what number? Which is 5. So this is something you must do your work, you must do your homework, otherwise you end up having this problem for your exam and your WA. So if I simplify a bit, I will have 2 minus k over negative 3. So since the gradient are equal, gradient of AB will be gradient of CD because they are parallel, right? So I will have a simple algebra, 2 minus k over negative 3 equals to 2. Again, where did I get these 2 from? Gradient of CD, gradient of AB. Okay, gradient of CD, gradient of CD here, gradient of AB here. Okay, if you are confused, let me change these two. Gradient of CD here, gradient of AB here. Okay. Then we do some simple algebra, which I'm not going to spend too much time on it. Equals to negative 6. Bring over. Okay. Okay, never mind. I know what you're thinking. So you move the 2 over, right? So your negative k will be negative 6 minus 2. Your negative k is negative 8. What is okay? K will be 8. So what does it mean? If this number here is 8, right? Then your CD and your AB are 2 parallel lines. Okay, can you try question 5 now? What happens if they are on the same line? Which gradients are the same? Can you tell me? Let's list down. Okay, gradient of PQ will be the same as the gradient of, okay, so let's look at the question again. PQR lies on the straight line. Can I? Okay, never mind, I leave it here. PQR lies on the straight line. Again, doesn't matter whether P is here or here or here, doesn't matter. It's just like it lies on the straight line, right? So the gradient of PQ will be the same as which gradient? Come on, will be the same as the gradient of QR. Will be the same as the gradient of PR. Because PQR lies on the straight line. So all the gradients are the same. So let's find some of the gradients first. You don't have to find all 3. It's going to be a waste of time. So the first gradient we find is PQ. Why do I use PQ? Because they are all numbers, easier to do. So I will use, okay, come, what number do I start first? All of you say out now. What number do I use here? We make the mistake 3 times already. The first number that I will use for PQ, what is the first number? See, we still make the mistake. Again, one more time. What number should I use for PQ? Okay, 2. Okay, good. That's correct. Minus. Okay, this number here is 14. 2 minus 14. Correct. And then 1 minus 5. Okay, so we will have 12 over 4. So we will have negative 3. So that's the gradient of PQ. Good, right? No K, easier. Okay, now, next. Since this is done already, okay, we don't want to use this anymore. Which one do you want? Okay, next I'll find the gradient of PR. The reason why I choose P again is because the number is smaller. Okay, let's try again. What's the first number here? Number. What number? Come on, try it. Say out, please. 2. Correct. Minus K. Correct. 1.
-2.
minus bracket negative 2. Okay, now unfortunately you cannot use the calculator for the top part. The top part will be 2 minus k. Can you use the calculator? What is at the bottom? Okay, answer is 3. So 2 minus k over 3 equals to 3. Collinear, right? They are lie on the straight line. So the gradient of this will be the same as the gradient of this. The gradient of PQ will be the same as the gradient of PR. So these two values should be the same. 2 minus k over 3 equals to 3. I'll do it quickly. 2 minus k equals to 9. Minus k equals to 9 minus 2. Negative k equals to 7. And k equals to negative 7. Algebra. Okay. Are the questions very difficult?